Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to talk about purpose, living a purposeful life, and what having a purposeful life means. I hear this question all the time. I talk to quite a bit of people, and they always ask me what their purpose is. And we've come to believe as individuals that we each uniquely have a mission, have a reason for being, and that mission and that reason is separate and distinct to the individual, to ourselves. And to some extent that can be true. I think that we all individually have specific lessons or experiences that we're meant to have here. But at the same time, we all share the same meaning. We are all here for the same reason. And I think that the moment you become aware of this is the moment that you are awakened to who you truly are and what you truly are. In the last video, we talked about the difference between spirituality and being religious. And when you understand that you are more than just the sum of your physical parts, that you're an energetic being of sorts, and that you are having a human experience through a physical body. The moment that you understand that, that's the first step in awakening. I think the second step, and one of the most important things you can do, is to come to the realization that your purpose is to experience through your unique perspective. Each of us are very different from each other. We all came from different backgrounds. We all look very different. Some of us more so than others. Some of us have very challenging experiences as children. Some of us very challenging experiences as adults. But we all come from different lives and different experiences. And so the point of you being here, the reason you exist, is to experience your unique perspective, your unique view of awareness, of experience, of life, of all that is. I actually had a conversation a few days ago with my higher self, with my inner being, with that awareness that I have actually given a name to called Asha. And that is just a name that I decided to give this awareness that is beyond my regular traditional human perspective known as Fernando or Fernie. And so I had this conversation. I asked the question why we came into being, why we were here. I began to write channeled knowledge and information, and I want to share some of that with you because I think it kind of puts into perspective the answer to this very important question. In the beginning, we all were. Timeless, limitless. We were infinite awareness. We were all things. All things were we. We did not know ourselves as individuals, but as a whole. Then there was the desire to know ourselves as one, individuals unique and specific in the awareness of the whole. We desired to know ourselves as the drop, for the ocean was unending in its expansiveness. From that desire came the nothing. That which we were not, the lack of all things, the limitation of being. In this darkness, we could know ourselves as ourselves through unique perspective. It was from the lack that we came to know ourselves as the grander whole. Once in the darkness, we began to forget. We lost ourselves to the limited being we materialized. The drop became lost in the shell, and the shell forgot it was never a shell, but a drop from the ocean of wholeness. We placed reminders of this grander awareness and of our plight throughout eternity, for these reminders were designed to awaken us to our truest self, the self that is more than the sum of its physical parts. We are the whole and not just the one. The darkness was a gift forged out of our desire to know our greatness. The truest form of enlightenment is not to seek awareness of the whole, for this is the truest form and state of us. The truest form of enlightenment is to know the balance between the darkness and the light and embrace the need for this balance. For without it, we would not know our greatness and all that is in our infinite selves. We would not know you, and you would not know us. Remember who you are and relish who you are being, for the two are quite unique points of our perspective. So when I channeled this and I reviewed it, I kind of had to go over it a few times because it was so fascinating to view the purpose for our being, the reason for our existence in this way. What Aja was saying is that in the beginning, there was everything. And I know a lot of belief systems, a lot of religious traditions out there say that there was nothing and then there was. But Aja presents this in quite the opposite manner. Aja says that everything was. And then because everything was, we as the whole wanted to experience ourselves. We desire to know ourselves from unique perspectives, to know ourselves, to understand ourselves. And so what happened was the desire gave birth to the darkness, gave birth to the limitation of being. And through the limitation of being, through the darkness, we began to see ourselves through those unique perspectives. And so when you look at your life, when you see things from your perspective, when I see things from my perspective as Fernie, there are limitations. I understand the limitations. I understand the lack of. There's the lack of this or the lack of that. And all of these limitations, all of these unique points of awareness that there's the lack of and not the whole of, gives me a unique identity, gives me a unique life and experience. And so you have been given that same ability. You are here for the same reason, to see things from your unique perspective of lack. And so there was the grander self, the grander us, and then we broke apart into infinite pieces and infinite diverse combinations so that we could experience ourselves through those unique points of view. And they also exist. The whole is still there, but we have the introduction of the darkness into the light so that we could experience those unique pieces of individuations, that unique sense of self. So the darkness is a gift that we gave ourselves to experience ourselves as the light. When people talk about the balance between good and evil, or positive and negative, or the yin and the yang, and when you see all of that and the balance and why it's necessary, that is the reason for it to be. There's a reason why Earth is the way it is, why the human experience is so challenging and so difficult, and why there's so many ingredients that make up the human condition, and why we try and we may try to create absolute paradise here, and we can experience that in certain moments and at certain points. The earth will still remain what it is meant to be. The physical world, the human experience will still remain what it is meant to be, which is the lessened view, the lessened awareness of the grander self, because it helps us to see the greatness and understand the difference, and to be able to see ourselves as one divine being. So we are all sparks of the divine because we are the divine in infinite form and infinite combinations. There's a balance that is happening here. There's a balance that exists, and you can tap into either or, and you can experience life through either perspective. And every day that you exist, every day that you breathe through your physical lungs, you have a choice to make. What will you experience today? Will you experience more of that darkness? Or will you understand that, appreciate its reason for being, and embrace the light, that which we all are in essence and truest, purest form? Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. If you liked it and would like more like it, please give me a thumbs up or like the video and share it with your friends. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you would like to see more videos like this, type in what you would like to talk about in the comment section below. And if you would like to know more about me, please go to my website at www.fernandomarone.com. Thank you, and I will talk to you next time.